Hey folks, good evening. So I have another video to do tonight. This has been a quest that I've been trying to do for the past 2, 3 months. I can't think exactly how long, but it's been a bit of a while for sure. So one of the things that I've been wanting to get working is to be able for Tales of the Valiant for Foundry, because that's the virtual tabletop that I use, to be able to export a character to a PDF file, right? So you can walk around, take it, generate characters in Foundry, and then output them, and then use it for maybe another game or what have you, right? Some way to get your characters in Foundry at least onto a PDF that you can print or what have you. So there's a number of apps, or I should say modules, within Foundry that does this, right? And I'm going to cut to the end a little bit here because out of the 2, 3 months it took me to do this, it was more a bit of discovery on what's going on behind the curtain than it was actual time to write code. So, long story short, there's a number of modules out there. One of the more popular ones, at least I found originally, was no longer being supported by the person who wrote it. That code seems to have split off into other projects in GitHub. And long story short, in the end, I found someone who was supporting the code. They had to make an adjustment within the code so that would work with Tales of the Valiant. So the reason I go through this little sub story here is the fact that a lot of the modules out there for Foundry, at least the ones that I found, seem to be spawned off of one particular source code. And the bottom line is, at the timing of this recording, it seems like only one of them has been fixed, so they'll work for Tales of the Valiant. Because the bottom line is, behind the curtain, Tales of the Valiant is set up differently than 5e, Pathfinder, etc. So if you try to use even the supposedly agnostic versions of this, it's not going to find the code most likely, and it's going to choke at some point. So how do we do this? That is the bottom line, right? So to start with, let's talk about which module we have to use. So if you go into your Foundry, the module you need to download and install is Actor Export. That is the module that you need. Okay, so for those who don't know, right, you click it on Install Module, Actor Export, there it is, it's already installed. Click Install, off you go. Right? I was working with Makita earlier tonight because I wanted to see this work on Forge. And it does. If you're going to be doing this in the next day or two from the creating of the video, it might not work. So at least out of the chute, right? Because the bottom line is the person whose code this is, which is bushvins, and shout out to him for helping me put the last couple touches on the code to put this over the finish line. But he just fixed it today, and it takes a few days, it seems, for it to kind of make its way to Forge. So if it's within the first 24, 48 hours of you watching this video, what you need to do is, and I can put links in the description, but this is the Actor Export code in GitHub. What you're going to need to do is you're going to mouse over this little tag here, right click and copy link. And then if you go, and I took this snippet when I was working with Makita just to make sure this worked in Foundry. But if you go onto Forge, right, the module is out there for Forge, but again, it takes a day or two, it seems, for it to fully upload into Forge to grab it. So instead, you would have to install from Manifest, and then you would paste basically what you see here into that box and hit install module, and you'll get the up-to-date one. Like I said, a couple days after this video, you can install from Forge normally, and it should run without any problem. But that's the way you got to do it for Forge, at least for a day or two. So to start with, you need to install Actor Export, right? And you need to add Actor Export to the game world where your characters are, right? And we'll look at that in a couple of seconds. Actually, I might as well pull it up now. Why don't I do that? Okay, yada yada yada. All right, so, whoop, my bad. First things first. I really should hold on one second. Sorry about that. I have characters who are in the middle of that particular map in case they look at this in the next day or two. Um, when you go into Manage Modules, make sure that Actor Export is checked, right? No problem. So you have it downloaded, you have it installed. Similar screens for Foundry from here on out. Uh, Once you have that installed on Foundry, there's a couple things you need to do. And again, these links will be in the description. Also in GitHub is code that I had to write. So what bushvin's code does is basically link, and this is like 20,000 foot level, basically link Foundry to be able to link it to a PDF, right? But you have a bunch of fields in Foundry and a bunch of fields over here in on the PDF. You need to get the mapping that says the name goes to this field and the spell goes to this field and so forth on the actual PDF. So that is what this code does. All right, so this is authored by myself. It's called Actor Export ToV, so I try to name it similar to bushvin, so that way people would know where to go find it. I also credited him in the README, and basically, if you read the README of this project, it will give you the written step by step. So we've already done step one, which is the Actor Export and the module, right? So now you have to go to where I'm at now, this particular link for my export, and you need to download two files. There's a export.tov.txt, which is the mapping I just talked about that we're going to have to put into your Foundry game. And there is a PDF, which is called ToV BF41. I'm Blue Flash 41 on Discord most of the time. PDF. And this is basically the Tales of the Valiant, whatchamacallit, the PDF, the character sheet that you can download from Kobold Press. Now, I want to talk about that for 2 seconds. So, for right now, as at the creation of this video, if you download the PDF direct from Kobold Press and try to use it, it will not work. I did some changes to the PDF behind the curtain. If you look at the PDF, it will look the same, but it's not the same. So I could go into this 5 different ways. Working with PDF files in Adobe Acrobat is a pain in the butt. But the bottom line is, it's not anything that Cobalt Press or the person who wrote that particular PDF did wrong um, at a 20,000 foot level. But on some of the fields, um, I didn't like the names of the fields, and it's not my personal opinion. It was sometimes there are ampersands in some of the fields, and there were some other special characters kind of floating around, and I took a lot of those out because when you're writing code and you're using certain special characters, and you try and write code that's going to know that those special characters have special meanings, sometimes you have some funkiness going on there, and you have to do certain things to make that work. There were some other little things as well, but it was easier for me to edit that file and take that stuff out so that it would interface cleanly with the JavaScript code that I had to write, or potentially be clean, right? It's I didn't want something screwy and have to try and debug it and all that kind of fun stuff. So I took those characters out. When I started this in the beginning, um, I had a very quick chat with Zach from Cobalt Press, and he said that they would potentially replace the file that I created with what they have. So in the future, it may very well work that if you download the Cobalt Press file from their site and try and use it with this code, that it will work. But as of today, it won't. And to be quite honest, I don't want not that I don't want to. I don't think it's fair to give them that file yet. I have it here. They could obviously grab it if they wanted to. But the bottom line is, I expect to debug this a little bit more over the next couple days. There's a few things in the code that could be adjusted. Maybe there's things that other people will see when they try to use this that I need to adjust. So I don't think it's finished. That I don't want to be bugging them if they do upload it. I don't want to pass them a new file every 2 weeks or something like that. So I want to get to the point where I know this code from top to bottom is stable. So the bottom line is, grab the export ToV file, and also grab the ToV BF41 PDF. Okay, grab those two files, stick them on your PC. Okay, so once you have that, and you'll see this in a second. So if I open up the one file, it's going to look like this, right? This is the code that you're going to have to replace, and you're going to have to put your server name here wherever you got to go and do that. So let me show you where this is going to pop up and go from there. So let me put this off to the side. So what you're going to do is get this out of the way for a second. So we've gone into here and we've clicked Actor Export. Good, it's checked off. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into Configure Settings, and you're going to go to the Actor Export tab here. And you're going to click on the button that says Custom Provider. This one here. Do not click on the filter providers, because it's not going to work from this, because we're doing a custom provider. This is just one that we had written, or one that's not 5e or Pathfinder or stuff like that. So what we're going to do here is this is the code that you downloaded, this export ToV, right? You're going to have all this code here. You're going to take this entire file, copy it, and you're going to paste it. I'm trying to point. I don't know why I'm trying to point. You're going to paste it in that white box, right? This is the code that I wrote that is going to tell the program where to put the different modifiers for the the numbers and the spells and where do they go, right? This is what has to be custom put in there. You put it in here, And then you see up here, um, this here, if you look at it on my code, like I showed you a few seconds ago, right? You see for me, it says HTTP / your server here and then the path. You have to replace the your server here. Okay? Now, luckily, and double shout out to bushvin here. There's an example in black on the top here. That example in black should work with your PC, right? So in this case, right, you need to look at the second line in the black here where it says import PDF provider, HTTP localhost modules, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So the bottom line is for this code, there's like 3 different providers that you could use. We're using the PDF provider. So we have to code and set up for the PDF provider. And the example that bushvin gives you is going to be what's going in that second line. So for me, because I am locally on my PC, I don't use Forge or some other provider for right now. This is installed locally. I have to put here local host. I put the port in name in there. I don't know. I did it, but I guess I don't have to. But it works for me. I put the port in, the default port of 30,000. Right? When I did this with Makita, she had something, she uses Forge. She had to take the what it set up here, which was her Forge path, and do HTTP. Now it was interesting for me being on my PC, it was HTTP colon. For Forge, when Makita did it, it said HTTPS colon. So if yours has an S, and you probably will if it's Forge or some other provider that's not your PC, you got to make sure the HTTP says HTTPS. Whatever it says there, copy it. The second line in black has to be copied here as the first line in white. Once you do that, you're good. You're going to go and you're going to save the changes, and everything is happy. So now you're saved, right? And you should be good from here. So what you're going to do now is you're going to open up one of the characters. And I've been using Anora a lot. So now, with all that being done, and with using that particular this particular actor export module, there will be up top here, there is now a export button. You will click the export button, and you should get this pop-up. You will do 2 things here. You will check the checkbox. If you do not check the checkbox, it will not work. And it's very easy to forget to check the checkbox. That might have been too many checks. But you check the checkbox. And then you're going to click this Choose File button. And then you are going to choose the ToV BF41 file that is there, right? That's going to be your template that you're going to do. So by the way, I'm going to export the thing in the thing so you see there's nothing here, but you'll understand what that means in a second. But you go to desktop. Here's my ToV BF41. I'm going to click open. And now, if I did everything right, I should be set to go. So I'm going to click download. You're going to get that yellow warning. There's a yellow warning that pops up. I don't know why, but that's the way it works. When I talked to bushvin, he said it comes up all the time. So now you're going to save your file with your exported data. Okay? This is not overwriting the original file that you're downloading. You can save a copy of that somewhere. So I'm going to put it in my downloads because why not? So I will call it, I don't know, test export PDF. PDF. There we go. And I will hit save, and then let's go there. And there you go, right? So you have your character, you have your stuff. It's all here. It's mostly all here. You got your spells. So, and getting back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, there's still some stuff here I need to play with. I'm sure folks, when they play around with this, they're going to find other things. Let me know, and we can go from there. If you want to go onto that GitHub, there is a message board. If you want to put the messages there, that's fine. If you want to try to ping me, if you're on the Cobalt Press Discord, you could do that as well. I don't try and PM me if you can. Like, I don't want to like tie up Cobalt Press's Discord with a whole bunch of like error reports, right? So either PM it to me, or if you need to, I probably prefer all in one place. If you go here, right, there should be a discussions tab to my project, and you can go in here and you can write me, make a new discussion, write some message to me, and I'll pick it up there. Just have it all in one spot. But there is some still things here that still need to be adjusted a bit for sure. You'll see that sometimes I just noticed this today. I don't think it was happening before, but this undefined thing is here. I have to figure out how to adjust that. That should be pretty easy. It's not coming up with the armor classes here. Part of that, some of this code is a little harder to write in in JavaScript, where you gotta like look something up and then reference that and look something else up. So I haven't gone through all those gyrations yet. If someone's really better than JavaScript than I would be happy to have the help, and we can figure out how to make this all go. Yeah, but you'll see some of these boxes I'm not even trying to fill in. I just left them blank. The character name isn't showing up here. Actually, you know what? With this one, some of this. Oh, there it is. Some of these, like the font for this is set to auto as opposed to a fixed width font. And that was something else I changed over the Cobalt Press version of this, is that sometimes the fonts will come up really big, sometimes they come up size too small, and they don't always show in the box. If you print it, it usually shows up, but that is something I want to adjust as well. So there is still a few adjustments both on the PDF side and on the code side for sure. I have no idea why these aren't centered. It's driving me insane, but because it looks the same as all the other boxes, PDFs are weird. I don't know. So I'm going to work through some of these other things. I'll see what else other people find, but I wanted to throw this out there so people can use this for themselves. I've only tested on so many characters, so certainly I, want to get this out there so I have more testers out there to find more problems, and we'll get this set up over the next couple days, week, whatever, and finish this off and kind of tighten this up. But that's about it. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you.